What's going on, everyone? This is Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. In the show, we're doing our DFS picks and sleepers for the 2020 Alfred Dunhill Championship. Craig, we're staying in South Africa. We're heading to the Leopard Creek Country Club. But I got to ask, what's with the whiteboard? The battle near Kruger.
Well, the golf course here, Leopard Creek Country Club, it borders right on a national park, which is Kruger National Park. And I don't know if you remember, but there's a famous YouTube video, Battle at Kruger National Park, which if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's super cool. It's all about lions and crocodiles fighting over a buffalo, and yeah, it's the roller coaster of results that happens is awesome.
Do they have more views than our typical videos, or?
So 84 million views. I just looked it up. So, it's close, but I think they might
pretty
have
close.
Might have us just beat by a little bit.
I was looking at a few of the players' Instagram stories from this week, their practice round today, and yeah, it's a stunning golf course. Leopard Creek is a stunning golf course, but the kind of where they border with that national park, it's super cool. And
this is a bucket list course, I think.
Yeah, without a doubt. So looking at the course, par 72, 7,200 yards, 6,600 meters. Pretty average length. Former winners, we're looking at Pablo Larrazábal, 2019, David Lipsky, 2018, Brandon Stone, 2017. And then going a ways back, 2016 and back, Charles Schwartzel, 4-time winner here. And I think he has a couple runner-up finishes.
Yeah, when last year I think he was tied for third. So, he's always been good here.
Talk about horse for course. I
think his results in all the Sunshine Tour events, South African events, are pretty off the charts. But that's the reality of someone who's, able to contend at majors when they're playing on their local tour.
Yeah, exactly. Weather for this week, nothing to be really concerned about. It looks like it's not too hot, which is probably a good thing. The heat can get, pretty crazy around there. Some thunderstorms possibly on Friday, some wetness again maybe on Sunday. It does look like it's going to be, the course isn't going to be dry. There looks like a little bit of precipitation each day, but
it's not going to be dry.
It's not going to be dry, yeah.
Yeah, so, it should be good for scoring, you'd think.
Yeah.
Greens will be soft and receptive.
Yeah, exactly. So for this video, we have no PGA Tour, so we did a little bit more in-depth video for you guys this week. We're going to each do 2 top plays, and we're each going to do 2 sleepers. So Should we just jump into it?
Let's jump into it. I didn't go super deep with my sleepers, as you'll see when we get there. I know you just love to go deep, so we got some shallow, some deep.
I had a great night on the Sunshine Tour website and looking at different social media accounts and history of amateur events. I went deep, but we'll start with our top play. So
you're going to the social media accounts, you're seeing whether they're eating nutritious meals and posting that to Instagram and stuff.
I'm doing it all. It's a deep dive. I tell you, it's a deep dive. Starting off, my top play is 8,900. It's Garrick Higgo. We talked about him last week. Craig, you brought him up as one of your favorite plays on DFS. I'm going right back there this week. He's 4th in strokes gained on approach in the European Tour, plus 1.04. He's 5th in birdie average, 4.45 a round. He just had his practice round, and I saw the European Tour tweeted a little interview with him, and he said of Leopard Creek, this is probably my favorite course in the world. So some guys have a good feel for a course. I like that a lot. I liked him a lot going in to this week anyways. He already has 2 wins on the year, Open to Portugal and Sunshine Tour Championship way back in the beginning of the year. I really like. I just can't get away from him. I think it's a great price. I think he's, a young guy, tons of talent, but the fact that he likes his course as much and his stats, I am really looking at approach this week. It all just kind of lines up.
Yeah, totally agree. I don't think he returned great last week, but that's golf. It's just a matter of shooting your shots, and I like him again. He's young, just the talent level he has. He's going to pop in weeks. So exactly. I like him here. If he likes the course, I like him a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Another young guy here. My first pick is Matthew Jordan. He comes in at 9,000. He's 24-year-old Englishman, first European Tour season, and he's had a pretty good go of it. Last 9 starts, he's been top 30 in 8 of them. So really consistently getting, into the top third quarter of fields. And in this field this week, he is 5th in strokes gained total for the season. So I just think he's a really good value where he's priced. He may not have, he doesn't have any, he won a Challenge Tour event, but he has not yet won on the European Tour since he's earned his card on the European Tour. But I think he has the game too. So, he's a good ball striker, as basically all these young players coming up are. It's in good shape. He was, he gained 2.5 strokes around at Joburg. He just didn't putt very well. So I think his game's in good shape. I think he has all the talent. So I just think there's good value there.
Yeah, I really like it at 9,000. Quickly with Higgo and Jordan both in that price range. I think when I build my kind of 20 lineups this week, I'm going to end up with more balanced lineups than I think I have in the past. We'll talk about the sleepers a little bit, but kind of starting in this 8,900, 9,000 price range, I think is definitely viable. There's a lot of guys who can go out and win this.
Totally, I agree.
So my next pick, Adri Arnaus, 8,500 on DraftKings. 10th on the European Tour in strokes gained tee to green. He played in this tournament at Leopard Creek in 2018. He was 9th here. Just kind of a fun stat if we look about the history of the Dunhill Championship. In 14 events they've had it at Leopard Creek, a South African or a Spaniard has won 12 times. So I don't know if there's something about the Spaniards with the heat here or just is familiar to some of the courses back home. But
yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if there's some similarity in course architecture or grass types or something like that. But it's an interesting stat.
I think he's kind of a potentially more volatile play at 8,500. I really like. We're getting close to DraftKings average there with that price. So I think a guy that can definitely go out and win this.
Yeah, he's got a lot of upside too. I think I want to say at the Italian Open, or it might have been the first week of Cyprus. He had a pretty good finish, and it definitely helped my DFS lineups that week. So at that price, I'm going to be taking a look at him. Yeah. My next one here at Adrian Otaegui. He's 8,700 on DraftKings. Where with Jordan, one of the things that I really found once I looked deeper into him is his consistency, and he really has over the last few months has been very consistent getting into the top of the fields. Otaegui also is just pure value in terms of his full 2020 strokes gained total, but I think he's a little more volatile. So if you look at his last 10 starts, he has a win. He won at the Scottish Championship, and he has a second place. But he also has 2 missed cuts, and he has a bunch of finishes that are, they're in the 40s and 50s and whatnot. So I think that in GP, to me, he's more of a GPP play than maybe a cash game play. So, but it's that upside that really makes me want to look at him in GPPs. Yeah. Just in terms of what his form's like, he's better than his usual ball striking is good, and it was better than that this past week at the Joburg. So his finish wasn't there, but that's because he his usual putting average is just above positive, and he was over a half stroke behind his usual putting average. So his ball striking's in good shape. If his putter gets a little bit hot, I think we could see one of those weeks where he really is up at the top of the field.
Yeah, and another guy, fits perfectly into that kind of balanced lineup build. I
don't know if he'll need the toque down in South Africa.
I was just gonna say, I love the European Tour. They can go from like the UK all the way down south in Africa. They can hop to Italy and between France. He's got the toque or the Nick cap or whatever you want to call it. But it's toque.
Sorry. For us Canadians, that's clearly a toque. I don't know how the whole world hasn't adopted that word yet.
I know. Okay, heading into our sleepers. So for our sleepers this week, we are going 8,000 and I'm going to give you 2, so 4 sleepers total. I'm going to kick it off with Jayden Trey Schaper. DraftKings, he's 7,400. He's priced up because he is, potentially a generational talent coming out of South Africa. 7 top 20s and 9 events since the restart. He's just playing really, really well. He's only 19 years of age. He's really young. Amazing South African amateur career. I mean, he's got his own website I was kind of looking up. On that kind of bio, they talk about how he's 50 plus junior wins. I mean, I don't know what constitutes a junior win. You can go out and play with 3 buddies and that's a junior. I don't know, but he's got 50 of them. He's a winner.
Yeah.
On the Sunshine Tour, so again, I was looking at accuracy. I think approach and accuracy into the greens is going to be my most important stat. 75% green in regulation. He also ranks 5th in score relative to par on the Sunshine Tour.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of the guy. So, I mean, this is what happens when you do the deep dive into the Sunshine Tour. I like it, though. I'm going to jump into his history a bit more before I decide whether to roster him this week. But definitely, regardless, I think he's someone that we're going to be seeing more of in the future if he's getting these kind of results at age 19.
Yeah.
My first one here, a super popular guy, I think, in the DFS, at least the tournaments I've been playing, it seems like he always seems to have high ownership. Wil Besseling, he comes in at 7,800 on DraftKings. I did a bit of a dive into his stats. He has this shockingly efficient off the tee stats. And, he leads the European Tour in strokes gained there, or he's tied for it at plus 0.91, so almost a stroke around off the tee. But the thing that really surprised me, almost always when you see these guys really gaining on strokes off the tee, it's because of distance. But he's only 47th in driving distance. And, that is maybe 4 or 5 yards above what the tour average is. But usually it's really like, I think he's tied with Rasmus Højgaard, who is one of the ones who, he's a top 10 distance guy on the tour.
Oh, yeah.
So it just means that for the distance he's getting, he's putting himself in great shape off the tee. So just his command of the golf ball from there, he's doing a really good job of turning that into greens in regulation. So he's third this season in greens in regulation at 73%, and he's 22nd in greens under regulation. So to me, it's just one of these ones. I always like to find ball strikers, and it's just so odd that he's not doing it with the pure power. But man, if you can drop it on a rope out there above average distance, then I like it. Last thing, tied for 3rd last year at this tournament, at this course. So he has a good feel for it, and I think that can only mean positive things. The real thing is he may have very heavy ownership.
Yeah. But I mean, there's ways to be different here. I mean, the field is, I feel like, deep enough that you can kind of diversify how you like. And I mean, I can hop right into one of those guys you can find kind of right at the bottom here.
Let's just see if you can pronounce his name.
I tried to write it down here. Deon Germishuys. Deon Germishuys. I'm sure that's wrong, but I tried to look it up a few different ways. Found some interviews. Found actually Jayden, Trey, Schaper say his name as they were kind of dueling in the tournament last year. I think it's a South African stroke play championship. So 2 young talents I'm going with, but pretty dirt cheap on DraftKings and probably about as low as I'm going to go at 6,600. But I think he's got a lot of talent there, and I think he definitely shouldn't be overlooked at that price point. So he ranks 6th on the Sunshine Tour in birdie average. That's minimum 10 rounds. So we got a few of the people that played just last week at Joburg Open, and it upped their birdie average. So guys that have been on the Sunshine Tour, I mean, for more than a couple events, he ranks 6th. He's also 74% greens in regulation on that tour. And then the form coming in. So he's another one of these guys. He has a very good kind of amateur career. I think I'd have to double check, but I think he's in his early 20s. And he's played well in South Africa. I mean, on the Sunshine Tour for a while. But his last 4 tournaments, T12, T14, T3, then T56 at the Joburg Open. So Joburg Open, a little bit stronger field, 56. But I feel like he can improve upon that. And if he does at 6,600, I think he's going to pay off for you.
Yeah, I mean, I know nothing about the guy, but from what you're telling me, it sounds good. I think even for where he's priced, getting him, a tie for 56 made cut is not the worst thing. You would like to see him getting higher if you want to win a GPP, but I don't imagine his ownership is going to be that high. So if he can improve upon that, then you have to really like what that does for you.
I think that we're going to see a lot of PGA DFS players potentially start dipping their toes in a European Tour event with kind of the larger prize pools this week. I think that could potentially go to and have ownership go to a couple kind of key sleepers. I think these guys are opportunities to be a little bit different from 30% or 25% owned.
I think, we're kind of introducing you to both, because I think really I've just tried to, I've pegged who I think are the pure value, like almost the name brand discount ones.
I really liked, going into your last pick, I really liked Connor coming into the US Open. He didn't pay off there, but I think a guy.
But for people who are not following the European Tour as closely, his name does maybe stand out, and if not, his results, I think if you look at them through the year, they do stand out a bit more. And so he's another guy that I expect his ownership may be a little bit higher than Germishuys. But yeah, Connor Syme comes in at 7,600 on DraftKings. To me, it's a bit of a, we talk about different ways of trying to identify targets. This one to me is a little bit, maybe his most recent form has not been what you want to see, but the long-term what his baseline is as a player, and the value that potentially gives you can really allow you to get a discount on someone because they haven't been playing well lately. So it's short-term pain, long-term gain. Hopefully that's what you're hoping for. His last 6 starts, he's missed 4 cuts. That's not what you want to see. But immediately prior to that, in September and August, he had 3 straight top 10s. And one of those missed cuts was at the U.S. Open. So it's a big jump in terms of talent pool. And there's so many other things going on when you're going over to the U.S. to play in a tournament like that and seeing a course in a condition that you've never seen it before. But I just ran some quick, easy numbers on the just pure strokes gained total stats, and he may be the number one value in the whole field in terms of his full 2020 season stats. Where he's priced, he has a plus 0.9 strokes gained total, so he's almost getting a full stroke around, and you're getting him below average in this field. It's just if he. We haven't seen him for a few weeks, in terms of making a start. So if he has worked on his game and he comes out in the form we saw him in earlier in the season, you could get a huge deal on him here. And he has good course history here. He's tied for 11th at the Alfred Dunhill last year, and back in 2017 he's tied for 15th. So a couple, they're not top 10s, but they're top 20s, and for a young guy, those are great results. So I like him. I think again his ownership may be the problem, but I'm gonna have pretty good exposure to him.
Yeah, I really agree with you. I think I might actually be overweight. I've been a fan of his since kind of he came on pretty strong at the start of the year. I think when you look at these guys that are deep sleepers, you kind of want to see the recent form to kind of make sense of it all. But with Syme, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Kevin Kisner last week, when we know, there's more of a story than his last 6 starts. We know Syme from the summer, from the start of the year, he's been playing really, really good. So if he's had a few rough tournaments trying to make that next step, he can come back to himself. Like you said, when he wasn't as kind of accomplished, he was 11th and 15th here. I think he's a better player than that. It's an incredible discount for him.
Another fun little fact, U.S. Open, everyone was loving the talk of the U.S. Open was Bryson DeChambeau driving the ball, and Connor Syme actually had the longest drive at the U.S. Open. So, yeah, there you go. Honestly, I'd have to look it up. I just stumbled across it as I was doing research on him, but it was something like a 423-yard drive. I think it's actually the longest drive on the PGA Tour this year.
I mean, we got to pull up videos somehow. Maybe it's a carpet.
Well, no, I
or a
think because
rock
there
or
was some
something
pretty
there.
good wind, and the only thing I can think is there's that one par five. I want to say it was number 9 that was just a straightaway shot.
Right.
like straight and long, and
Yeah.
it's one of those ones. If you had a tailwind there, you could just smash it. So, I don't know where it was, but just a fun little side note.
Yeah. Well, there's our summary of our picks. If you want to see them, I mean, we went over them in detail. I actually, though, I want to call on you guys to comment below what you'd like to see from the rest of the European Tour this week. If you're interested in playing showdowns, we love our showdown videos. So if you're going to play them, comment below. Let us know. We haven't quite seen the DraftKings contest, what they're going to look like, but let us know if it's kind of outright betting. We can prepare some things for later in the season with the Dubai coming up. But anything else, Greg?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that we only have one more tournament on the PGA Tour, the Mayakoba, and I know that there are a few bigger names from the PGA Tour going over to play in Dubai for the championship there.
Yeah.
So we'll be covering that a lot more in depth, I think, than we have covered a lot of the Euro stuff. Just let us know what you do want to see, and with all these picks, tell us if you agree or if you disagree.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Good luck this week.
Yep. Good luck. See you next time.